is Andrew. Welcome to my shop here at North Tustin Steamworks, and today we're starting a new project and going to try and record all the steps. This is something I've never done before. I am not an expert in any way, but I'm really keen to try and do it and going to give it my all. I have all the tools I think I need in order to accomplish it, so I'm going to take it through step by step and just see how it comes out. And what's going on is there's in the kitchen there's a buffet that's just between the kitchen and the dining room. It's very slender. It's only about 17 inches deep and about maybe 6 feet long. And it's not big enough to really put out a typical buffet like for Thanksgiving. And my father had bought these planks of mahogany way back in maybe the 50s or the 60s, and he laid them down in the attic and never used them for decades. And he had some plan to make a bookcase or something, he never did. He finally gave them to me a few years ago before he passed away. And so I have 4 of these. These are 9 feet long and about a foot wide and about maybe 3/4 inch thick. And there's 2 more behind the camera there that are 10 and 11 feet each. And so the plan is I'm going to take 2 of these and joint the edges and use a biscuit joiner. Pretty skewed actually, but use a biscuit joiner to join them together. So I'm going to have to join the edges. So I've got a biscuit joiner here that'll do a beautiful job of cutting little slots in the edge so that they can be assembled into a single pieces of biscuits and glue. Just switch my finger. But I can see just standing them next to each other that there's going to be a challenge right away, because these 2 pieces are not even really straight to each other. So, but I need to joint them. So watching some videos on YouTube about how to do jointing. It's either get a big power jointer and run it through and do that, or I've got this hand jointer that can do the job. I got it at an estate sale, and this one is a number 6, and so it's 17.5 inches long. So it's a pretty good size. It should do a good job at running down the edge and making it square. At least that's the theory. So first step is I need to sharpen the blade. The blade that was on here is very dull. It doesn't cut anything. I won't even cut paper, I doubt. And there's a little bit of a burr on the back edge of the blade. And so the first step I'm going to do is that focusing? No, probably not. The first step is going to be to get an edge back on this so that it'll actually cut again. And then we'll get the wood assembled here and then start planing it. Don't know if it'll be today, but I'm going to give it a shot. So let me get my sanding stones set up. I have quite a variety. Some are from my father's estate and others from other estate sales that I go to. I'm kind of an estate sale junkie, and so I like to pick up tools like this if I think it'll fit a project that I want to do. So this project has been on my to-do list for many months, and so I'm finally getting around to doing it. So I'm going to turn off the camera and do some setups, and then we'll see what goes. Okay, so I've gone through my stones and picked out what I think will be good choices for coarse and a little finer, and then finer and finer still. I also have a rouge stone. It's very small, but it might help. And then finally I have this one. That's actually a granite washita stone for doing a final edge. So I probably end up on here because it's a very smooth stone, so it should give me some nice mirror finish. I found this one also, which came out of an estate sale, and it's really badly warped. You can probably see there in the shot. It's got a lot of what would you call that? concave grinding ware. Somebody used it to grind axes or something silly like that and didn't maintain it. This side is pretty fine, but even then this one doesn't feel flat. There's some indentations here and here, so I'm not going to use that. I don't want this edge. You know, I could try a little bit of this anchor lube. That might be interesting. I've had really good luck with that when working with drilling and milling. If I can keep the cutting grain clean. Looks like whoever had been sharpening this before did not make a good flat cut. It looks like the surface of the chisel has a little bit of curve to it, and everything I saw in the videos I watched all indicated that this should be flat and not curved in any way. So. Make sure my angle's right at about 30 degrees. Good coverage all the way across. Still see on this edge, so it's starting to get through now. Looks like that might be getting close to done on the coarse side. Let's wipe off this anchor lube. Let's see how that looks. It looks pretty good. It's still got a little bit of rust showing here on the left edge, which will be the right now. I'm going to flip it over. Still not there. I don't feel any burrs on the back edge. Looks like I'm getting a pretty good edge on there. We're getting a good face. Got a little bit more to take off here, and a little bit more here. The edge itself looks like it's got some holes, maybe from some rust damage here and there. But I'll be going up to a finer stone, so I don't want to dig too deep. I'll stop before I get that floor on this stone. just wondering how close I am to staying square. I've got a engineering square here to see if it's square, and it's a little bit off. That's not good. That point is a little high, and that point is a little high. Maybe this thing's off. So that doesn't, I don't like that. Okay, now the water's staying on the surface. How does the edge look? There's a little bit of rock, like this part is a little high. Just a little tiny bit. So that means the center of this is a little bit concave maybe. It's not necessarily very good. And this one soaks up too. I'm going to go up to the next grit here on this back side of this block and start to hone the edge and correct the convex part of this blade. I'm liking how this anchor lube worked on here. I'm using my free sample. You go to anchorlube.com and get a free sample of this little 2-ounce bottle. And I've been experimenting with it and generally finding it very useful for drilling and cutting. Trying to get a finer finish there on the metal. In focus. There we go. It's not in focus, is it? There we go. So I was trying to get a little bit finer edge on there. I don't feel any burr on the back, so maybe it's okay. Yeah. The image on the camera. trying to decide which stone to go to next. These feel like the same grit. I can feel it through the nitro. This one feels, you can see the difference. This is so much better. So checking the stone to see if it looks like it's flat. I can see there's a gap. This one's been worn down pretty heavily. I work this rouge. Let's try this rouge a little bit. Let's see what it does. This is another estate sale find. It's amazing the tools that the older generation had accumulated, and I give thanks when I go to an estate sale because they're nicely preserved most of the time. I can bring them home and use them here and teach my boys how to use them. Rouge is doing a pretty good job with some coolness on there. Starting to cut pretty good. I should cut the back a little bit, just to take out any burrs. So that's doing a good job of cutting through that. I think I'm going to switch finally to this granite stone. Although this feels pretty smooth too. It's got a weird, kind of an airplane wing shape to it. Wouldn't expect that from a sharpening stone, but again, maybe it's designed, maybe it's 30 degrees. Is it 30 degrees? Not quite, it's not quite 30 degrees. Is this thing flipping over? Sorry, my camera's screen, there it goes. I just flipped it over. There we go, now I can see correctly. I was looking at an upside down image on the screen. Trying to go for a mirror finish on the cutting blade on the edge. Just to see if I can get close. Like the Japanese masters, this is what they do. It's looking pretty sweet. Okay, I'm going to try the granite stone now. This is a Buck brand granite stone. Almost getting up to a mirror finish on there. Both sides of the same, yeah, it's just solid granite. almost a mirror image. It's cutting fairly well through the paper. I'm concerned that there's still, let's see if I can show this, there's still some little holes in the cutting edge from some old rust damage. So I fear I may have to go back through and do it one more time. So we'll kill the camera for now and we'll go do another side. Alright, we're back, and so I've gone through and I've reground the chisel edge on all of these 3 different grits. And now I'm back on the granite block. and the finish is coming out much better. The blade is much sharper. And fortunately I have not cut myself yet, but it is much sharper. I was just checking to see if there's any burrs. If you can hear a burr, a little tiny bit of burr right there. I'll grind that off just a little bit. And that's just about a mirror finish. As good as I can do, I think. You can see there, it cuts really well. I'll just cut that ½ inch of paper towel. So I think that's a go. I'm gonna call it here tonight. So this will be the first installment. The next segment we'll get the boards set up here. I'm gonna put in. Let me go mobile here really quick so you can see what's going on. Zoop. Don't drop the camera. There we go. So the plan is, I mean, my bench is shaped like this. It's got these 2x3 legs all over the place, and so I'm going to put a couple of pieces, maybe 2x4, attached to the leg there that sticks out a few inches so that it'll stick out from the workbench. And then likewise down here, 2 legs down, I'll put another piece of 2x4 sticking out, and that should be enough to support the planks, which are 9 feet tall at this moment, and be able to hold them up, and I'll put them in precisely so that the planks will be level and square. And then I can set the planks then on those 2 sticking out pieces of wood down like that, and then be able to clamp it to the bench, and then be able to set up the joint or planer so that I can actually put a square edge. So the next installment will be getting the edges jointed and ready to be mated. So thank you for watching, and please like and share and subscribe to my channel.